Hi, this is John LeBlanc from Performance Designs. We're pleased to announce that the FAA has granted the TSO approval for the Optimum Reserve parachutes in the larger sizes of 160 through 253. We've begun shipping new sizes of the Optimums to fill our existing orders starting Friday, May 21st. And we're accepting new orders and have all the sizes in stock with lots more being built. We do regret the very long delay in receiving certification. We have received 9 TSO approvals in our company history, and all of these were processed by the FAA in about a 1 to 3 month time frame. And we've always had a good working relationship with the FAA and had no reason to believe that this TSO application would have taken any longer than usual. So we did announce the large Optimums at the last PIA symposium in Reno, just after we submitted a full data package and a request for TSO approval to the FAA. We also took orders at the symposium that we agreed would ship pending TSO approval. This video is to provide information on why those delays occurred. Contrary to rumors, we were not delaying the release until the new TSO C23E was released, because that could take years to approve. And the delays had nothing to do with any deficiency in the design or the performance of the Optimum Reserve. Here's some background information. Our TSO request for approval for the Optimum 160 through 253 included an exit weight up to 300 pounds. We decided on this weight limit for 3 reasons. First, many active jumpers that are larger need a reserve that is up to this task. They would like it to pack small, but they need it to open and land well. Second, the Optimum parachute easily exceeded all the TSO performance requirements for openings and landings at this higher weight. And third, because we obtained excellent openings and landings from a skydiver's point of view with these larger Optimums, even down to the 160 size. So we really raised the bar on this project. Our testing included multiple dummy drops at weights up to 360 pounds and at speeds of up to 216 knots. The TSO standard only requires strength testing at 264 pounds and 180 knots. We typically go quite a bit over that on all of our reserves, but on the Optimum, we've gone far heavier and faster than any solo sport reserve which we've ever seen. And our opening forces were substantially lower than any other parachute that we've tested as well. Our experienced test jumpers also accomplished very nice no-wind landings at 300 pounds on all sizes all the way down to the 160, even after straight-in approaches with little or no wind. So that's it for the background information. Now this is what happened. As we stated in one of our previous information releases, the Parachute Industry Association, the PIA, has been working with the FAA on a completely new set of TSO regulations, which when complete will eventually replace the current version of the TSO. There have been 3 versions or revisions of the TSO, starting with the first parachute standard introduced in 1949. The 2 other revisions were in 1984 and 1994. Each successive revision was written to improve upon the perceived deficiencies of the predecessor in light of the changing parachute technology. And that process takes a very long time, and it does call upon the working group to be brutally honest about the strengths and weaknesses of the current standard. That's so that necessary improvements can be made on the newer version. It appears that this process caused some serious delays in the certification process for the larger Optimums. With all the dramatic debates involved in creating the new TSO, the FAA has now developed a new awareness about the flight speeds with brakes set that are possible at higher weights and higher wing loadings. Since 300 pounds is a much higher maximum weight than the FAA typically sees on parachutes in this size range, this caused them new concerns. Now, our data clearly showed them that the Optimum parachutes are actually slower with the brakes set at any specific weight and size than all other reserves that we've tested. This is true regardless of what the TSO the parachutes were certified under, or who designed them or who manufactured them. The Optimum was slower at any given weight than everything that we've tested. In addition, the Optimum parachutes satisfy all the requirements that the other PD reserves have, performance standards which have been deemed acceptable by the FAA for the past 16 years and approved multiple times. But in this case, the FAA changed their stance on this just prior to receiving our TSO request. Obviously, we do not agree with the FAA's logic. However, in response to their new concerns, which were presented to us nearly a year after our original TSO request, we chose to voluntarily derate the Optimum's maximum weight rating by 10 to 35 pounds, depending on the specific size, in the interest of having a greater margin for landing safety. With that change, the FAA is now satisfied and has approved our TSO request for the larger Optimums. Though our TSO testing would have normally allowed for 300 pounds on all the new sizes, the maximum weights now range between 265 pounds on the 160 up through 290 pounds on the 253. We do not anticipate that this will make any difference at all for the vast majority of our customers, who typically load their canopies to a level that's consistent with their experience and desires, and that's normally much less than maximum weight. The larger Optimums will still legally carry more load than almost all conventional ram air reserves, which are typically limited to 254 pounds or less. And the Optimums will perform better at any weight than any other reserve we've seen. So in conclusion, the long delays we've suffered do not represent what customers should expect from a company like ours. So for that, we apologize. We regret that we did not anticipate that the ongoing negotiations on the proposed TSO-E revision would have had any adverse effect on the FAA's position over the last 16 years in regards to the existing TSO-D regulations and their interpretation. I would also like to point out again that the delays were not due to anything inherent in the Optimum design or its performance, nor in PD's thoroughness in providing complete and accurate data. The design and the performance of the Optimum and the data we provided to the FAA are all without peer. The good news is that the big Optimums are finally shipping starting Friday, May 21st. And with this news comes the benefit of the Optimum for heavier or more conservative jumpers. The added safety of lower opening forces, more powerful landing flare with a greater forgiveness to errors, and the capability of fitting a larger size reserve in your existing container. Thank you for your support.